talk about this right after I finish talking about how the survey is going to work. And then after we kind of decide what those issue areas are, we're going to break into small groups and brainstorm solutions or like ideas to solve those issues, right? So it's very much like literally an in-person version of the survey. And we think that like small groups is a little better because it will help out people who are a little more like nervous about talking or speaking up in front of a big audience, and then it'll help also like concentrate people's energy into a specific issue that they really care about. And then at the end, I think what's going to happen is out of all those little small groups, those different issue groups, each of those groups is going to choose like one or two main like programs, right, that they want to pitch. They're going to pitch them, and then we're going to have all the youth vote with like fake money on what solutions or programs they want. So let's say like we have literally like different boxes, right? And each of them are labeled with like a solution that a small group has talked briefly about. We're literally gonna give them like fake money and we're gonna be like, hey, where are you gonna put your money? So it's literally deciding what their priorities are. And the final third section of the summit will be a sort of open discussion. We're going to invite some council members over, the mayor over, hopefully. And we're going to literally just like talk about what we chose, talk about focus on a specific one or two issues, like the ones that were voted on, and really get them to understand like what youth care about. Because that's the point, right? To get that buy-in and also to like actually connect directly with youth who care about this issue and want to solve it, like creating something or allocating money towards a specific thing. So first thing, sort of just like so we can get it out of the way, do you guys want to have an issue brainstorm, or do you want to pick those issues beforehand and just stick with maybe the main issues that we already have in the survey? If you go at the very bottom of the doc, there's like the main issues that we talked about in the survey, which are probably homelessness, violence and safety, educational resources. So there are two options, like just do those issues, or we can do an issue brainstorm where like we put post-it notes of all like the different problems we see and categorize them like we did during the retreat. I think it might be quicker if we just pick those main issue areas. Does anybody have any input on that? Or any questions in general, because I know I kind of blazed through that.
I want to jump in just a little bit too. You did an amazing job of kind of highlighting and describing the way that we're restructuring the budget summit this year. Does anybody have any questions to the specific structure of the T outline? So the budget summit will be Sunday, the 21st, from 1:30 to 5:30. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. And the reason why, no, is it 1:30? Yes, because we open at 1 o'clock. Sorry, the reason why that is because it'll be in this room because the library is last year. For those of you that were here and in attendance, remember we had 2 hours budgeted and we ran out of time. We also were structuring it a little bit differently, where it was just kind of like a presentation of information and less about collecting ideas and shaping them. So just to give you sort of an idea right now of where the survey stands, as of this morning, we had 831 responses. They're all unique responses. I really want to commend you guys because a majority of those responses, there's about 116 from social media and about 320 from the flyers. And that's all from you guys. So that's about you guys can react, really promoting the survey, engaging with council members. I want to give a big shout out to Nolan, who wrote that letter and sent it out to all the council members and did a lot of outreach and helped support you guys in doing a lot of that outreach. Again, you guys all reaching out to schools in the districts. It's made a difference. I saw a big flood of like Yerba Buena and Oak Grove responses coming, which is very cool. So, so you guys did a really good job there. We have a lot of data to work with. So right now, we're sort of going through the YPB ad hoc team and Nolan are working on tagging all of the results because we do have some open-ended questions. We're asking, you know, hey, if you had $100,000, what would you do with it? And it's about organizing some of those responses into, you know, sort of coherent things. Because some of them will be like, we should plant more trees and build more crosswalks and provide houses for everyone. That's like 3 different kind of topics that we were overviewing. So, but just to give you an idea of where it stands kind of right now, out of 5 being the most important thing, 1 being not important at all, our really big ones are poverty, homelessness, violence and safety, and educational resources. Those are like the top 3 issue areas. And it might have shifted a little bit because I believe when we did this, we had about 600 some odd results. So it might have shifted a bit, but that's a decent overview of, you know, at the forefront of issues that are affecting you, that they're thinking about. These are sort of big rounded collective topics. Vandalism and graffiti is very low, which I think is very interesting considering how high it is on the priority of the mayor and city council. So it's just kind of interesting that caught me there. But so taking those ideas and creating small group discussions. So what you'll be responsible for, instead of researching a city department and giving a presentation, you'll be responsible for being knowledgeable about this particular topic. We will provide so the survey closes officially on the 15th. We will present the results. We'll create a nice PowerPoint presentation with data graphs highlighting some of the responses and things. Andrew, I know you've seen that presentation that we've done for surveys in the past, and we will share that with everyone initially. So we do have Anya and Neha have agreed to work on building out that presentation, and then probably the YPD ad hoc will work on presenting that. But in these small group roles, you and your partner, because we have 6 groups, there was 1 group that won't have a person, so it'll just be 1 person. You're responsible for being knowledgeable of that topic, maybe coming to the group with ideas, having read up on the responses that were already provided. So this does require a little bit of pre-work. I do expect you guys to come prepared. And I do expect you guys to guide and lead discussion. And I'm happy to do, and I probably will beforehand, do a small community conversation training with everyone. Because it's really helpful at, you know, move along discussion, asking questions to help really provide substantive answers rather than just cause or because, you know, it helps to round out a discussion. We'll break out into different groups around the room. We'll work on the process and then we'll kind of self-present. So you will kind of work with a mini group of you around that particular topic. So I expect you guys to not be experts, but be well versed in what you select. Coordinate with your partner. You guys have now like I think 6 weeks between now and the 21st to find an afternoon, a couple hours, a day to coordinate with that partner around those topics, and look at the data, which we will share with you after the survey closes, and be familiar with what is being shared, what the issues are, what the interest is, and policy ideas. I'm gonna go through this. So right now, poverty, housing, homelessness, Megan and Nitra, you 2 are gonna work together. Mental health resources, Neha and Amia, you 2 are gonna work together. Violence, safety, vandalism, T and Anya, you're gonna work together. Which leads, Vedant is looking at environment, climate change. Andrew is in transportation, which I think is a really good one. With crosswalks, they're building that crosswalk over off of Jackson now that was very dangerous, which is very cool. And then there's Vision Zero, so just saying. And then Nolan, availability of quality educational resources. So Vedant and Nagam, you 2 are gonna work together?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be pestering the heck out of both of you, just so you know. All right. Am I short? Was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Did I not count right? 4, 5, 6. Who am I missing? Aldo.
Do you want to join?
Who do you want to work with? Do you want transportation with Andrew or do you want educational resources with Nolan?
Educational resources.
Nolan? Okay. here if you need me. I can be your buddy if you want to talk about these. You're fine. I know you'll do great. And so you guys will lead those groups. And part of your role is to ask probing questions, engage, and really sort of build up some really solid ideas. And then you guys will present that, or you will empower some of the youth that are with you to present it on our behalf. And then we will do just that. This is a practice I did at Youth Forum. We were given like fake money, and we got to, the thing is, you consider, instead of just putting a dot, you consider, if I had this money, how would I invest in these projects? I mean, I want to put a little bit towards, Vision Zero, because it's already, it's got a thing. But I'm really interested in like building all these community gardens over here, something like that. So, I want to put more money towards that. And then we'll tally up all the money and our top ideas. Those will be the ones that we kind of lead with. And then we'll use the rest of the time. That's when we'll invite in. I'm thinking around 4:30. That's when we'll invite in our council member, mayor. I just want to check. You all want to have a council member or mayor come to our budget summit, yes? And it would be sort of like a big circle kind of discussion. And we would have, right now it looks like T and Megan would kind of help guide that discussion. So I'll do a little bit more Harwood community conversation training with you too. How does that sound? Other questions? Concerns?
For group one, the presentation on youth city programs, on your NEHA, do you guys want another person? Because I know that it can't be your load, but only if you want to. Is anybody else interested, I guess, my question? If you want to, you can join.
Do you guys know the presentation I'm talking about? Have you seen that data before? I'm happy to show you. Give me one second. I have to think about where it is every single time. I don't know where it is.
Was it a thing you shared with me a long time ago?
A long time ago. Yeah, I have no idea where it is. Oh, you know why? But it is different. No.
Is the San Jose Public Library Youth Commission Annual Survey presentation to the council? Or is this
For city council?
Yeah.
I can show it to city council.
Oh, okay, never mind. I don't think I have it.
Yeah, I have no idea. Now you guys can see my crazy mind. Yeah, I have no idea where it is, but presentation. No.
Spring 2023 middle school and high school survey.
That's it.
I have
That's
it.
it.
If you want me to, I can.
Can you just tell me the pathway?
Spring 2023 middle and high school survey presentation. Oh, actually, no, it's called 2023 Teen HQ.
There you go.
Middle and high school survey presentation.
No. No. Regardless, the point is, it's very pretty and it has graphs that I worked semi hard on. But it'll be pretty this year because we have Canva. So if you are interested in presenting and sharing that data, please let me know so you can work with Anya because they'll be giving presentation right at the top. And then the next day we have our meeting. So you guys are keeping me busy. Is anybody concerned about their ability to attend the budget summit? Okay, and then finally, last thing, and then I'll let you jump back in. So a budget summit would, especially one that is so conversation and, youth focused, wouldn't work if we didn't have people show up. Aren't you guys so fresh? So if you go straight to our website, sjpl.org/, youth commission, you'll see this is the first thing here. I have all of our meetings listed out. So this is really good if you guys have an event. I can put it on here and then you can direct people straight to it and we can do registration stuff. So you'll click on it. It has our budget priority summit. It kind of talks, it's very vague, but somebody registered. People need to register. I need to know how much food to get. I need to know how many chairs to set out. I need to know what works best. I have a limit of 50 on here. I don't, if we go over, that's fine. I think this space is like 80 or something like that seated. So we can be creative. The point is, it is imperative that you get your yaks, other youth who are interested, to register and attend this event. We don't have people attending. The other part is, if you go to our Instagram, our link in bio, you'll have the registration is right there too. So if you are with somebody, you can just go straight to Instagram. You can direct them straight to our link in bio. And I will have our communications officer go ahead and be posting about it as well over a period of time. Okay. Anything else you want to add or say?
Under Neha, and also Megan, I just forwarded you the email with the survey if you want to look over that, the past one, that presentation that you did. And then I just had a few questions. Did you want us to make a flyer to promote the?
Yes. Yes, we do. Thank you very much.
Okay. Does anyone want to do that? I can do it. Does anybody from YPB ad hoc want to make a flyer? If not, I'm happy to do so.
Flyer with a Q, and I can get you this QR code back too. Okay, so.
Was that a handsome on you?
Sure.
Okay.
Anya did a beautiful job on our other flyer.
No, it was so good.
So this is sort of like a quick overview of, you know, who responded. So our information was very skewed last year. Thank you, Firewall, for them leading the fight. You know, we go over a grade breakdown, who responded. Nice graph, racial ethnicity, identity breakdown. And then you can even see changes from prior years. Because before we just had one catch-all Asian American term, and now we've broken down to specific ethnicities. So that's interesting. The graph, languages spoken at home. This one is really interesting to me. So I know it's kind of hard to see, but really quick, I'll show you all. So there are 48 different zip codes with 57 different schools. So the first column is the district, so the council district happens. The second column is the zip code that the people who filled out the survey self-identified sleeping at. And the final column is the people who self-identified which school they went to, and I just identified it by its zip code and then its zip code by district. Now, there are some zip codes that break really even along council lines. There's one in particular, I think it's 95121. There's like 50-50 District 7, District 2. Like it's, I really can't think where it is. But one of the things that's very interesting if you look, you know, District 5, 41 people that responded that that's where they sleep at night, and that is District 5 zip code. But only 11 people go to school in a District 5 zip code. This was after the line moved to cover Independence High School, which is really interesting. Versus 70 people in District 6 who say they live in District 6. 151 responded that they go to a District 6 high school, or school, I should say, which is very interesting, that sort of thing. So, consider. Okay. I know a lot of you actually are, it's even in our youth commission, we see this, right? How many of you go to school in the same district that you represent? I think there's like 2 of you. Yeah. Kind of wild. Anyways, And then we have zip code breakdown and school districts. We did an awareness of programs, last year, going back to that sort of that scoring 1 out of 5. And we changed the categories a bit. Housing was still scored very high and violence and safety still scored very high. So we're seeing sort of these repeated issue patterns. They're not really changing. So that's something to think about on our behalf. Like, this is not changing year after year. What ideas can we do that might break up into that cycle? Because young people are nothing but, if not cycle breakers. So, and then we have, kind of a little bit about like things that they do and whether or not they're struggling or excelling at a particular item. Which, by the way, those are all the same too. I showed the ad hoc. I did a word bubble of the responses for what are you excelling at this year? Number 1 word is school. What are you struggling at this year? Number 1 word is school. So it's just kind of 2 sides of the same coin. Okay. Any other questions?
So would Nathan and I be presenting something similar, like breaking down by question?
Correct. We might do it a little bit more high level. That gets into the really nitty gritty. I don't know that we necessarily need the demographic breakdown that we have, but I do think, to me, the really interesting question, the most interesting question on that survey to me is what would you do with that $100,000? And do you think the city of San Jose represents, the city of San Jose is representative of youth priorities? Over 50% of the people answer, I do not know. And then the response is there. It's like, I don't really know. I don't really see it. I don't know what this means. So I think going back to our outreach plan that you guys approved earlier this year, one of the main things on there is really building awareness about the Youth Commission, about our YACs. Making sure when you say, hi, I'm part of San Jose Youth Commission, go, oh, that's very cool. Yes, I've heard about that. What are you guys working on now? Like, I want it to be, I want people to know the Youth Commission does. I don't mind if we get here. But like, I want people to know you guys. I want you guys to be the faces of young people. Or at least some people. So, all right. So we have a little bit of time. If you guys want to get together with your partner, and sort of maybe find a time where you guys can meet and talk, preferably after the 15th. So I am not here for the rest of this week. I'm available. You can text me. I may not respond immediately, but you can text me. I will see my email because I have horrible work-life boundaries. But I will be around, so you guys are more than welcome to come and so you guys can text me. And then the following week, that's the last week of our survey, so we'll do one last big sort of push to get more responses, and then I'll be collecting all of that data and working with the YPB team to sort of synthesize that data and share it with all of you, so you guys can go and read. So you can see how it's been tagged, and you can kind of read through the responses that will affect you. So definitely planning sometime late December if you feel comfortable doing so. I know some of you all may be leaving for the holidays, or early January to plan some time with your partner. So that's something that you all should do, and I will be following up on that. T, you want to talk?
Oh yeah, I had a few questions, but they're kind of small. The first thing is, do you have a city programs presentation from like last year that I'm gonna take it to work off of?
Yes, I will share that with you. It's different. I have to be honest, I think it's one of the prettiest presentations we've ever done. It is the foundation by which all of our other presentations were built. You guys can see how many times I've repeated this presentation.
Looks really good. Why would you change it?
It's in here somewhere. I'll have to find it. But yes, I will share it with you. It looks just like these ones. Here you go, budget summit. So what we did last year, and since we're not quite doing it the same this year, I shared it, and this was to make everyone get on Canva as well. I shared it with everyone and we kind of went over, we did a general overview of, hey, this is what the budget is, but we didn't have an understanding of that. I'm gonna be honest, like I learned a lot during her presentation. And then, you know, we kind of went through one by one environmental services and they talked about what environmental services did. And then we went on to housing. Here's some of the issues, here's some of the topics, different grants, different funding. That's all helpful to know. So I will share this with all of you and you guys can review. I will also share, last year I put together kind of like a quick resource sheet. I will share that with you all as well. About where to find more information about your particular topic. So if you are, for instance, transportation, not picking on you, Andrew. If you're transportation, you should know about the Department of Transportation. You should understand some of the projects that are there, some of the things that affect you, where some of the money is going, where it fits within sort of that tree that Claudia outlined for us. And yeah, so I do expect you guys to be, you know, if you are violence and safety, should know about the police department and the fire department. You should be able to speak to that and or when you get asked questions or somebody says, oh, well, why don't we just do this? And you can explain, oh, well, actually the police is the biggest department. You know, when there are vacancies, this is why they do it. This is like talk a little bit about what you guys have learned in this room, what you guys, the independent research you all do. And I am here to assist. I'm a librarian by trade sometimes. So I can help with that part. And the library is just so pretty. So I will share this with you and Nehan, I will work with you on creating another slide deck that's represented, that's like the other two had a magnificent slideshow. So, other questions? That was a great one, Dee. Thank you for, yeah.
How many council members do we want to contact and who do we want to contact? I mean, I think we should definitely invite the mayor, like whether he'll come or not. But
I know the vice mayor is interested. She, you know, she is the direct liaison to our commission. And so I know that she would be interested in attending. So I do think it's important to invite the mayor. I have not seen him say no to a thing. So I think that would be really cool. Even if he can't stay for the whole discussion, I do think it's important for him to be there. And you heard what she said. It's about, this is town hall time, right? Like it's about speaking directly about your priorities. It's about speaking to things that are important to you and getting it sort of a part of the conversation now in the here now. So that also will require you guys to begin to maybe set up meetings with your council members. Who was I talking to? Megan, you were the one. I was talking to about now is a great time to maybe ask your council member for a one-on-one in February sometime. You know, get sort of through the holidays. I know their calendar's probably a bit more empty in February, but ask to set up a meeting with your council member. Introduce yourself, talk about the work plan, talk about the things that you care about. It'll be post-budget summit, so we will have identified some main issues, some main priorities directly from the city's youth to really kind of talk about and share, you know, these are why these are important. And by the way, the overall goal with the survey and a lot of this is I want to create an annual report. I want something that we can be like, here you go. This is what we worked on this year. This is the information you did research on. I want it to look good. And I want that to be what we present alongside our informational presentation at NSC. I think if we have something like that, we have something we can point to, like here's the Youth Commission annual report every single year. We can see the work that we've done. We can see what we built on. And we can track progress that way. It's really good for new incoming members. And it sets a standard, which we're trying to do here.
Honestly, do we just want to contact like every council member and see what they say?
So let's talk to Zim. Zim, what do you think would be our best course of action? Personally, I think we should reach out to the mayor and vice mayor first, right, and see their responses. And then from there, we can see about, because here's the deal, as fun as that would be, I do think there are some Sunshine / Brown Act issues if like 6 of them show up. And yeah, I can see about that. The other part is, 6 council members is not a conversation, it's a panel. Which, while that could be cool, I like the idea of a more, for lack of a better, intimate conversation where it's like a kitchen table conversation, right? Not where they're like, I stand behind the podium, you sit over there, ask me a question and I'll answer. I like something where it's like they're sitting in a chair right next to, you know, an 8th grader, who's gonna ask them about gang violence, and how they can, you know, what do they think about it? How do they care and their ideas? So, yeah, so that's kind of what I think. So I think our first course of action would be to contact the mayor and the vice mayor. Nolan, can you please create a beautiful you and your friend ChatGPT?
Should I send it that right now, or should I wait?
We should contact as soon as possible, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you want to create that and you want to send it to Zim and myself within this next week, then we can work on getting on those calendars. I think having the mayor and the vice mayor there, I think they're really good balances for each other. And I think the 2 very perfect people having that conversation. And then assuming one or both of them could not attend, that's when we can begin to look at, you know, inviting Councilmember Cohen, who
Yeah, he
I know
wants to
he
go,
was
that's what I'm saying.
I know he was very excited by your idea. Councilmember Torres, who, Councilmember Torres, who, this is his district that we sit in. And he also oversees Library Education Commission. Councilmember Ortiz, who I know really cares about the Youth Commission and young people priorities. So, yeah. Do you guys want to do you want a panel? Shall we ask everyone? This is your choice.
I think at some point it becomes like too powerful, right? Like people feel overwhelmed by the amount of like elected officials who are there sometimes. But what's everybody else? What are everybody else?
I agree. There's like a distance between who's presenting and explaining and the people who are there to discuss ideas. They won't be free to discuss everything they want if it just feels like a bit.
I think that if we have too many, then each council member want to give up laud their praise for the youth. I feel like it might go over time. So I think that having 2 is better. Each council member is going to want to say how much they care about all this for each question. So I think that it might go over time if we have too many.
Yeah, I think adding on to what he said, if you have the council members, while they can give some expert by what they're saying and start reflecting that in the way they vote later on.
So, next item of action, we will coordinate with them to reach out to the mayor and vice mayor. Our outreach officer and vice chair will coordinate a letter of request 4:30 on the next quarter. And then we will follow up from there. And the action items you all have are to do research, understand your topic, invite your YAC members and fellow young people in your district to come and represent your district. There will be food.
Is 49 the max?
So with every teen program I do, I take the total amount of people that say they're going to be there and I cut it by like at least 30% in my mind. So I put 50. And there is a wait list option. If I show up here on the 11th and I look at my computer and there is 2 spots left, I will open up more seats. In this room comfortably, I think the I think it's 80, correct? 96. So we can have a lot. But ideally, if we do little breakout groups, then like 96 might be cozy. But yes, no,
49 doesn't include us, right?
correct, it does not include us. I'm working with a firm assumption that you will all be there, barring something. It is it should be a regular commission activity. So, so yeah. Any other questions? Thoughts, comments? Feelings?
Oh, the math sheet, has it been updated? I haven't checked it.
No, I haven't.
Okay. Also, shout out to Alia for like doing geotaging.
I know, I went in there and I was like, I was like, I
It was literally
checked the
all-
catch up.
No, it was just.
And
Literally
I was
all-
like,
Literally
somebody was just watching TV and just.
No, that was
like,
me, but like, no,
yes.
it was like in class, it was like during physics.
Good
like,
for-
something like
I'm, my heart is.
Petrova does not care.
That, thank you so much, cause
You're
that's,
so welcome.
yeah, no. If you guys have any confusion, Amia did a fabulous job of tagging what, question 15?
9.
9, okay,
Nine,
yeah,
okay.
she went through and she tagged them all.
350 responses.
I know, it's
Um,
crazy. I'm sorry, I can't do it anymore.
Like, I'm done. I just had to
This is my cat. I
I was
can't.
like, the rest.
You did a great job. So I will go through and, I will make sure that spreadsheet is shared with everyone, so you guys can review some of the data. Next, that you don't like touch or don't delete anything, because you can't get, well, no, that's not it. Can't get it back. But I formatted it really cute, and I won't have to do it again. So, yeah. Okay, so I'll show you. Yeah,
On the data tagging, I saw that a lot of the responses touched on housing and like financial instability, but there wasn't a specific tag for me to do that. And I was like, question 13, what am I struggling with?
I'll go back through and I'll look at the validation table. I'm like, you guys can understand how I got that validation table. It's our best friend, ChatGPT. So I just ran those responses, be like, give me a controlled vocab for this, validation table. Spat out that and ran it through again, and again, and again, expanding the amount of answers until I got a really tight, like, subject list. So, if you don't feel one of them really fits that well, and I went through and I like pre-tagged a bunch to give you guys kind of like ideas of what they meant if you kind of use my examples. But if you feel that one doesn't fit, that's very helpful, and we can go through, we can adjust that, absolutely. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Okay, so the question that I was like grinding on was the $100,000 one.
Yeah.
And then there was like so many responses where it was like, I would spend $100 and it was like, the answer was just like solution. Or like, so I don't know what to tag that, so I tagged it as miscellaneous because it was just, I was like, what am I supposed to do with it? But there was like 60, like for sure, that were just like solutions and ideas, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, but part of it's like, if that solution and idea had a particular, like, it's like, oh, I would put it towards more police, so we're safer. It's a solution, but like, it's also like, that's the topic is safety violence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, so yeah, miscellaneous is fine. If
Okay.
we need to like sort of cross-check and cross-reference, like, we can absolutely, do that with the information. There's a little bit of library science for y'all. Just use my master's degree for a second. It is objective, but it is not metadata is not an objective process. Oftentimes there is some bias to some of these, so it helps when you have multiple different viewpoints review these items. Even the controlled vocabulary that's created may not be as nuanced or may skew a particular way depending upon the person who created it or AI that helped create it. So just things to know about. Graduated like 10 years ago, so I had to think about that one. So, yeah. So yeah, so you guys are doing a really good job. I will make sure to share all of that data with everyone and update with the newer responses next week. Please make sure you are sharing the survey. This is the last week. I have 10 iPods sitting under my desk and like 20 Beats like headphones right behind me. So we do have prizes. I want to try and award a pair of AirPods to every district. So someone from each district. So definitely make sure you get more responses from your district. Do as much as you can. Yeah. Questions? Keely? Yes, Meg?
Is this our only planning meeting?
This is the only planning meeting for the budget summit. Now, I will probably schedule an online training in early January where I will walk you all through what is called the Harwood Institute Community Conversation Method. It is a method that we have used for different community conversations. I wrote it up. You see a bunch of different schools of thought for SJ Engage in the day, where I will sort of walk you guys through sort of leading conversations. If you've never done something like that, I know you guys lead your YAC groups, but if you're unfamiliar of leading sort of like a community conversation where you act as more of a facilitator and less than a participant, I'm happy to walk you guys through some of that process. I don't use any of the skills with you guys, or at least I sometimes I don't. So just so you all know, like it's not necessarily. I know Andrew is excellent at doing some of this, and if he has time or want, I would love to have him collaborate, do a little bit of peer teaching. I think that would be really well. Sorry, probably ought to get Andrew. But I know he does a really good job at hosting, facilitating group conversation. So I'll probably do something like that, but in terms of the actual structure of the event, this is it. So if there's anything you're thinking now, we need to hammer it out.
Right, because I was confused about T saying we would bring, as like the group leaders, we would bring 2 or 3 ideas, like actual proposed ideas to our group and then have them talk about, like, what did you?
Yeah, like, I know you have to, wait, it was your idea, was your idea like boxes, like where they could vote on, like, where to put their money into issues or where to put their money into specific programs that the small group had developed?
Yes. So the idea is you guys come as sort of those thought leaders for each small group. Everybody will be sitting here. Anya and Nao will get up here and they'll be like stats, and it'll be really cool. We'll kind of talk about the survey and kind of talk about some of the ideas or highlight a lot of the things that came out of it. Answer any initial questions, and then we'll say we will break out into small groups. If there's a particular idea or a topic that resonates with you, that you have an interest in, that you want to learn more about, we'll go to those small groups, and that's where, you know, like, Teacher and Megan will be over there for poverty, unhousedness, all of that. So you guys will be over in this corner and you guys will have your big post-it, and that's when you guys will kind of lead the discussions. Like, was there anything that stood out? Let me read you guys a couple of priority responses we received from the survey. So one of the, you know, highlight a couple of those main ideas that you guys see. So that's why it's important for you to kind of review the survey, understand your issue area, understand the responses that we received, and engage and facilitate a conversation with that group that formed with you. Create something with you, do a bunch of brainstorming, how we did design thinking wise for our budget summit, a bunch of brainstorming, and then from there kind of narrow down ideas, and whether or not it's just like divert more money to programs for unhoused youth, work with, maybe set up a series of grants to provide to nonprofits to do that. Even if it's solution or if it's just like, this is important and it's an idea, the goal is that we develop something, and then after we do all of that brainstorming, group thought, sort of land on a couple key topics, something that you want to share with the group. So it'll be provide grants to nonprofits that work with unhoused youth. That'll be yours. Andrew's will be, we had $100,000, how would we spend it for, transportation? It'd be like, implement in-pavement lights or more lighting structures around crosswalks, specifically in schools and in high traffic areas. That'll require research, it'll require public works, it'll require Department of Transport, like there's a lot there. Bam. We do that for all the groups. Everyone will get fake money, monopoly money. They'll get to walk around and invest in the ideas. So part of it is there's peer presentation, so there's brainstorming discussion, and there's peer presentation. Then there's a lot of thought process that goes into, all right, I get $1,000 in fake money. How would I invest that? I would put $100 in the grant one, but I really I go to school where, I almost get run over every other day. So I really think that's a good one. Put all the money in there. Everyone will break, everyone will go to snack. I will we'll tally it all up and be like, okay. So the main things, the main ideas that came out of this is that we really want to work on pedestrian safety around schools. That is, you know, if we had $100,000, that's where we would put that money. And then we will have our esteemed mayor come in and we will get a chance to talk to him about, hey, this is what we just learned, this is what we know, this is what's important, and host a conversation. So it's an opportunity to ask questions, as well as highlight a lot of the stuff that we just discussed for like 3 hours. Makes sense? Yes.
Do you have phone chargers?
Only for an iPhone 15 upgraded to pink. Sorry.
Okay.
I might have a lightning cord in my
Oh
bag.
my god, you're actually like saving.
Okay. Anything else? You guys asked a lot of great questions. I've done a lot of talking. So action items. I'm gonna go around the room. I wanna ask you each what you plan on doing. Anya, you got a lot of jobs. What are you doing?
Sorry, what?
What are your action items before the budget summit?
Working on that presentation with Neha, and then the one on violence with T.
Mhm.
And I believe that's pretty much all I'm doing.
You are also creating a flyer.
And the fire, yes.
And with that flyer, you're having your yak promote it, you're promoting it. Yes. So you guys should all have that. All right, Megan,
when
what
do
are you
I-
doing?
Sorry, hold on. When do I get the flyer done by? I'll send
I know this is like this week and next week or something for y'all, I apologize. As soon as you can. If you need help with it, just reach out to me.
Okay.
I'm happy to. But just like how you did for the survey, before we do an Instagram one and then up one.
If you need help, I can help you with the intro.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Yes, coordinate together. Thank you. All right, Megan, what are your takeaways from now until the 21st of January?
I will come through all the data and survey again to see more of the responses. I work with Petra because we're together, probably having stability, do a lot of research, get a doc out with all of our ideas or what we want to discuss and just overall.
And promote the,
The event.
good,
Have people register.
all the fun. What's your,
Working on the educational presentation side with Nolan.
yep, we're gonna, okay, and promoting the event. Yay, okay, good job. Andrew,
Promoting the event and then researching with my yak on transportation, on initiatives like Jackson Crosswalk. That was actually funded by council member Ortiz's budget.
his own budget from city council, they get like a bunch of money, they get like $1 million, I think. He took $100,000 and put it towards that project, so that's a great one. And you know, Andrew's working with his yak. If you guys can and your yaks are available, please feel free to engage with them and have them participate in a lot of this research and understanding, you know, some of the stuff in these solutions. Because you can come to the budget summit, especially with your yak members, with solutions in mind and use those as springboards for more discussions. Good idea. Nolan,
Work on the availability and quality of educational resources and programs research. Send you and Zim an email about the mayoral outreach and then promoting it to my yak and having them register.
beautiful. Deidre,
Promoting the event and then doing research on housing initiative and work with Megan for that item.
perfect. Amia,
Promoting the event, work with Neha, and then maybe I'll be on you.
perfect. Go.
Promoting the event, working with the Don and Jack for the environmental.
Done.
Same thing, except I'm working with Tim and Tizia.
You guys are like Gemini. Okay, Chief.
Working with Anya to do the violence and safety research and planning, doing tagging and promoting budget summit. I required it for my yak, so hopefully getting out of 50. Working with Anya for the presentation, researching with Anya for the mental health resources part, promoting the event and continue to tag the responses.
Sounds good. Sounds like you guys all know what you're doing. Chair, is there any more discussion we need to have?
Okay, I don't think so. So we're gonna move to any motions that we have to accept, approve this. Second,
Commissioner Lee second.
all in favor? Any against? Any abstentions? Okay, this motion passes unanimously. I'm gonna skip item C. For our meeting schedule, the budget summit is our next regular meeting, January 21st, 2024, at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Library. Now, we're gonna adjourn. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Commissioner Lee moves to adjourn.
Any seconds? All in favor? All against? Any abstentions? Okay, this meeting is adjourned at 6:30 p.m.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, just enough time to clean up, and then we're gonna go for a walk. Who all is